In this video, we'll talk about the October 2020 Visa Bulletin. Much anticipated. We were waiting for it for weeks, but it's finally out today. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody. In this video, we'll talk about the October 2020 Visa Bulletin and also the predictions for the months ahead. This month, the Visa Bulletin came pretty late. As you know, it usually comes mid-month. We're now almost at the end of September, and the Visa Bulletin just came out today. So we'll talk about that, what it means. Before that, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified, and also give us that big like so YouTube will be able to recommend this video to more people just like you. My name is Jacob Sapochnik, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California. And I'm making those videos for you every single week because you're asking for them and because you're waiting for information in these crazy times of uncertainty. So before we talk about the actual Visa Bulletin, I want to explain what's happening. So it is important to talk about this October Visa Bulletin because that's when the fiscal year starts again, right? So every year the visa count starts in October. Visa numbers start again every year. And so that's why it's really important to know what's going to happen and how it's going to all play out in the year by looking at this particular Visa Bulletin. So this year, the Visa Bulletin was released late, probably because of a lot of the things that are happening in the world. You know, the pandemic, embassies and consulates are closed, probably numbers are difficult to calculate. And so as this is the first Visa Bulletin for the fiscal year, what we can learn from it and the predictions that are coming ahead are really, really important. And we're going to talk about this in a few minutes. So because of embassy closures and lack of interviews scheduled right now, specifically in the past 6 months, what is resulting from this situation is that almost 100,000 individuals who are banned currently because of the proclamations, they're not going to be able to get their visas. And as a result, those visas are probably going to move to the employment categories. And that's why what we're going to see in this Visa Bulletin is an advanced and rapid movement on almost all employment categories, except from a few countries, specifically China and India. What is interesting is that on the family categories, there's almost been no movement at all. So yes, the F2A category is still current for people that are currently in the US or if they're able to immigrate once the consulates are open. But pretty much all family categories have not moved at all since the last Visa Bulletin in August and the one in July. So that's pretty bad on the family categories. But the reason why it's happening is, once again, remember, we have, like I mentioned before, there's more than 100,000 people that are not going to be able to get their immigrant visas because they're not able to get interview scheduled, because they are banned from immigrating to the United States, and because consulates and embassies are not scheduling visa interviews. And as a result, a lot of these immigrants are not going to be able to move to the United States or get visas. So their visa numbers are going to be shifted to the employment-based categories. And therefore, again, like I said, we see that rapid movement over there. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening in the Visa Bulletin by going through the different categories. Before we do that, and also today we wanted to find out how USCIS is going to be using the Visa Bulletin chart, because they have their own chart. And so in the beginning of the day when the Visa Bulletin was released, USCIS said they're going to be using the final action date, which was a little bit later. And then they changed their position and they said that they're going to be processing cases based on dates of filing, which is faster. If you're inside the United States, you have to look at the Visa Bulletin of USCIS, and currently they're saying that they're going to be processing dates of filing, the second chart. So that's an important update. Let's take a look at the employment categories right now and see where they stand with respect to the October Visa Bulletin. EB1, all countries except for China and India are staying current in October. China and India looks like will be advancing by 3 months to June 1st, 2018. EB2, China will advance by 6 weeks to March 1st, 2016. And India is going to move forward 2 months to September 1st, 2009. All other countries in EB2 are current. EB3 professionals and skilled workers, all countries except India and China are going to become current in October. So EB3, that's major news, is going to become current in the October visa bulletin, except from 2 countries. So let's look at that bulletin itself. EB3, professional skilled workers, all countries are current except from India and China. The cutoff date for China, it's going to move 4.5 months to July 1st, 2017. And India move forward 3.5 months to January 15, 2010. So that was actually expected. We expected the EB3 to become current. So we have a lot of people that are waiting to file for the green card or start the process. So that's important news, and I'm hoping that that will continue in the next few months. Let's take a look at the EB5 category as well. EB5 for the non-regional center program, India is also current, and other countries are current as well, except for China and Vietnam. And China remains at August 15, 2015, and Vietnam remains at August 1st, 2017. Remember that the regional center program is supposed to sunset on September 30th, 2020. So unless it's going to be extended again, that category is going to be, it's not going to be available in the next visa bulletin. So let's see what happens by the end of this month. And once again, if you are inside the United States and you're looking at the USCIS visa bulletin, remember that they're going to go with date of filing, which is a little bit faster in this category, but that's just for the employment categories, not for family. Let's take a look for a second at the EB3 other workers, non-skilled, and the EB4 category for religious workers. So EB3 other workers remains current for other countries, except from China. It's it moves forward actually to December 1st, 2008. EB4 employment-based category, cutoff date for example, Mexico is moving forward to September 1st, 2018. Countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, it moves to August 1st, 2017. All other countries is current. So as you can see, while this visa bulletin came out late, it has some pretty good progress in a lot of the employment categories. So let's talk about some predictions. As you can see in this visa bulletin, while it came out late, we have some very rapid movements, specifically on the employment categories. And while the family categories has not advanced a lot, and the reason, again, like I mentioned before, is because there was not much movement on the family side because of the bans, a lot of immigrant visas not being issued. So what typically happens in this case, if there's a surge on one category, for example, that there were not enough visas issued on the family side, those visas are not just going to disappear, they're going to be essentially rolling over to the employment side. And that's why the anticipation that there's going to be an all-time record high of more than 261,000 visas for the fiscal year FY21, and those visas are going to be distributed among the different categories next year. And that's why the prediction is that there's going to be a even more rapid movement on the employment-based. So we're looking at EB3 to remain current. We're looking at China and India to advance even further and have a lot of opportunities for people from those countries to actually finally get their green cards instead of waiting for years. Once embassies and consulates are going to start to reopen, we anticipate that's going to start happening soon. There's going to be also a slower but a movement on the family categories as well, because like I said, right now there's almost a complete halt in so many of these family categories. And a lot of you that are watching right now, I know that many of you are F2A visa categories that are overseas, that are stuck. We have some family petitions that are also stuck because they're not getting their interviews because the consulate are closed or whatever reason. We have parents that are waiting for the green cards interviews. They're not able to come right now. So a lot of categories that are being stuck, and as a result, those visas are not being used. But again, those visas are not being lost. There's a process of being rolled over right now, and they're going to be able to be used in other different categories. And as a result, a lot of employment categories are going to move even faster. So now, one thing that is interesting you can see that, for example, the EB3 category in some cases is faster than EB2. And I'll give you an example. So for example, EB3 for China is at July 2017 and EB2 is in March 2016. So there may be some opportunities for people to downgrade their visa categories as a procedure for that, and maybe I'll talk about it in future videos. And the same thing for India, where EB3 is faster than EB2 in this particular bulletin, and that may continue for the next one as well. So there may be a situation where people can actually downgrade their category from EB2 to EB3 to be able to get their applications in faster. So these are some of the things that people are going to start considering, perhaps. Again, these are some new things that are happening right now. We have not seen them before, but again, we'll talk about those options as well, and maybe I'll make a separate video explaining the process of what happens if a category that is less superior is going faster, if there's a way to downgrade your petition. So that may be another opportunity for people. So Visa Bulletin October 2020 is out. Really late this time, but again, the reason it's late because there's been a lot of backlog in visa categories, and on the family petition there's been almost no movement, and that's the result of what's happening at embassies and consulates in the world, and the State Department is not issuing family visas right now because of the bans. Those visas are going to be probably rolled over to the employment, and as a result we have a surplus, and we predict a much faster movement in a lot of the employment categories, and that will stay current for the next months ahead. So once again, once we know more, I will promise to update you, and we'll do another video as soon as I have more information, and also give you some update from some of our own cases. Once again, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell to be notified for any new videos that we release, and as well give us that big like so YouTube can share this video for other people. Please give us your comments. Let me know what other questions you have about the Visa Bulletin or any other topics. Also, guys, if you're interested, we have a private membership that we started just last week for people that are going through the immigration process just like you. Whether you have an attorney or you're doing this process on your own, if you want to be part of a community where we can share your experiences, webinars, updates, courses, everything is in our private membership. Make sure you log in. The link is in the description of this video, immigrationu.com. And I look forward to seeing you there as well.